Hello guys, let's start with the unit test 1 solution. Okay, question number 1 is X3 minus is isoelectronic with argon. It has electrons and neutrons in equal number. The mass number of X is, ये आप लोगों को इस क्वेश्चन में बताना है, ठीक है. X3 minus is isoelectronic with argon. How many electrons are present in argon? 18 electrons. Okay, so how many electrons in X3 minus? All right, 18 electrons. Is that clear? Now it has electrons and neutrons in equal number. So if electrons are 18, then neutrons will also be 18. Is that clear? Because electrons and neutrons are equal in number. Okay. Now the mass number of X's, ठीक है, mass number is equal to, guys, mass number is equal to protons plus neutrons. Is that clear? Number of electrons in X3 minus is 18 and it has 3 negative charge. That means it has 3 excess electrons. So how many electrons will be there in the neutral atom? Obviously 15, right? So how many protons will be there in it? 15. Is that clear? Because it has 3 excess electrons. So number of proton is 15, number of neutron is 18. So the mass number of the atom will be 33, right? So this will be the correct answer. Alright, okay, let's move to the next question. The ratio of wave numbers of two electromagnetic radiations is 1:2. Here we are talking about electromagnetic radiations by default. Now you guys know that the velocity of electromagnetic radiation is constant. Yes, we call that speed of light, 3 into 10 raised to power 8 meter per second. So no matter what their wave numbers are, the ratio of their velocities, that is the velocities will always be c. Is that clear? So their velocity will always be 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. So the ratio will always be 1:1 no matter what the radiation. Is that clear? Alright, next question. Which of the following cannot give band spectrum? Do you know, guys, which substances give line spectra and which give band spectra? Then let me tell you, atoms give line spectra because they have discrete energy levels, and molecules give band spectra because they have such a large number of energy levels that the energy gap is very small between them. Okay, so they give a large number of closely spaced bands. So which of the following cannot give band spectrum? Hydrogen cannot give band spectrum. Can it give? It can give. Why? Because hydrogen forms H2. Alright. Can oxygen give band spectrum? Yes, because it forms O2. Can nitrogen gives band spectrum? Yes, because it forms N2. But helium, we know it is a noble gas, it cannot give band spectrum. So this is a correct answer, right? Because it is an atom, it will only give line spectrum. Clear? Yeah, so some statements are given below, you will have to tell the correct statement. Planck's quantum theory can explain photoelectric effect? No, for that we also need the concept of threshold frequency, right? You know that threshold frequency, minimum frequency of photon required to remove electron from a metal surface. So this is wrong. Photoelectric effect explains the wave nature of light? No, photoelectric effect explains the particle nature of light. So this is incorrect, right? Then photoelectric effect explains particle nature of light. Yes, we just said that. It says that the electromagnetic waves they travel in discrete forms, right? When they are emitted or absorbed, that happens in discontinuous manner. According to Planck's quantum theory, emitted radiations propagate as waves, right? Emitted radiations propagate as waves. Yes, this is true. See, whenever electromagnetic radiation travels in space, right, when they propagate in the form of waves, and whenever they interact with matter, whenever they are absorbed or emitted, then they are absorbed or emitted in the form of quantum, right, photons, discontinuously. So statements C and D are correct. Okay, only statements C and D are correct. Is that clear, right? Yeah. Next question. In hydrogen spectrum, the spectral lines get closer as the n value increases. Yes. See, the energy difference is Rydberg constant for hydrogen atom, right? So you can see the energy difference is inversely proportional to the square of n. So as the value of n will increase, the energy difference between adjacent levels will decrease. So lines will get closer. So this is correct. Clear? Hydrogen atom has only one electron in its ground state. Yes, hydrogen atom has only one electron in its ground state because its atomic number is 1. So both assertion and reason are true, but reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. Why? Because in hydrogen atom spectrum, spectral lines get closer because energy difference depends inversely on the square of principal quantum number. So the value of n increases, they get closer and closer, and that is why lines also get closer. Clear? Identify the correctly matched set from the following. In this you have to do the derivation. Okay, so I am telling you two basic equations using which you can derive all of these expressions. Okay, first thing is let's say charge on the nucleus is Ze and the charge on the electron is E. Okay, now if electron is performing circular motion, if electron is doing a circular motion, then the forces should be balanced. So Coulombic force should be the magnitude of Coulombic force should be equal to the magnitude of centrifugal force, right? 1.4 pi epsilon naught, the product of charges divided by the distance between nucleus and the electron should be equal to centrifugal force mv square by r. Okay, this is one expression that you will be using. Another expression is the Bohr's quantization. Bohr's quantization, that only those orbits are allowed in which the orbit angular momentum is an integral multiple of nh upon 2 pi. Okay, so now you can using these two expressions you can derive all of these equations, right? Because velocity we can introduce through kinetic energy. This is what? This is kinetic energy. So velocity you can find out, radius you can find out, and energy you can find out. Alright guys, so the correct answer to this question is 2. You can derive all of those equations and you can cross check. Alright. Yeah, the radii of first orbits of hydrogen, helium and lithium. What is the formula of radius? Radius is a naught n square by z. Okay, so a naught is a constant, let's leave it. First orbit, so the value of n is 1, so leave it. So radius inversely proportional to the principal quantum number. Okay, radius inversely proportional to the atomic number. Is that clear? So this is 1 by 1, 1 by 2 and 1 by 3. So if you convert it to integers, what will happen? If you convert it to integers, what will happen? This will become 6 is to 3 is to 2, right? Because you will multiply it by 6. Is that clear? Okay. So a naught is constant, first orbit n is constant. So radius of each orbit, it is inversely proportional to the atomic number of the species. Is that clear? Okay. Yeah. Next question. Ionization potential of lithium ion is x. He has assigned it a variable, right, or a constant x. The energy of an electron in the ground state of helium ion, that's what you have to calculate in terms of x. Okay. Now what is the formula for ionization potential? It is Rydberg constant z square by n square. Okay. For lithium, z is how much? 3. Z is how much? 3 divided by n square. What is the value of n? The ionization potential of lithium. Okay, so we are removing electron from the ground state. So the value of n is 1. So this is equal to 9 RH. Now in this question, he has taken it to be x. So 9 RH is x. Finally, what is the energy of electron in the ground state of helium? Energy is what? It is negative of RH z square by n square. Is that clear? Okay. Now the energy of electron in the ground state. Okay. So for helium the value of z is what? 2. So this will become 4. Z square by ground state n की value कितनी है? 1. Okay. So this is 1. Now you know 9 RH is x. Okay. So x is what? X is 9 RH. So RH is x by 9. RH is x by 9. Substitute. So this energy will be minus, this is x by 9 multiplied by 4. So this is minus 4x by 9. Is that clear? Right? So that is how we get this answer. Yes, so this is the correct answer. the wavelength of the infinity line. Infinity line is the electron is dropping back to the ground state from n is equal to infinity. From n is equal to infinity, okay. In the Lyman series of hydrogen atom spectrum, now how do we get a line in Lyman series? When electron drops to n is equal to 1. Remember Lyman, Balmer, Paschen, Brackett, Pfund, Humphrey. So for Lyman series n is equal to 1, okay. Now what is the wavelength, bachcho? Wavelength is 1 upon r, because energy depends inversely on the wavelength, okay. So this will be 1 upon this, 1 upon infinity is 0, right, and 1 upon 1 is 1 obviously, so wavelength is 1 upon r, okay. So this is the correct answer, clear. The wavelength of a moving body of mass 0.1 mg. So whenever you solve questions in physical chemistry, do not forget to convert the values to SI unit. So mass is how much? 0.1, and 1 milligram is 10 raised to minus 6 kg, okay, 10 raised to minus 6 kg. So this becomes 10 raised to the power minus 7 kg. Is that clear? Mass of the body is 10 raised to minus 7 kg. Wavelength is given. Wavelength is given. You have to tell the kinetic energy, okay. Now if you remember de Broglie formula, de Broglie relation, then lambda is equal to h upon under root 2m into kinetic energy, okay. So lambda is given, Planck's constant, you know, 6.626 into 10 raised to the power minus 34 joule second. Mass is given, you can calculate out the kinetic energy. You can do that, okay. So the correct answer is this, clear. If the wavelength of the electron is numerically equal to the distance travelled by it in 1 second, what is the distance travelled by an object in 1 second? Velocity, the speed, right? The distance travelled by an object is 1 second is speed. Now wavelength is equal to velocity. So wavelength is equal to velocity, then you have to tell the relation. So you can see lambda inversely proportional to m, directly proportional to h. It is again de Broglie relation. The simplest form of de Broglie relation is h by mv. Velocity is equal to lambda, so I can write it as m into lambda, or lambda square is equal to h by m, and then lambda becomes equal to under root h by m. Is that clear? Clear? It's very simple. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, you know, is applicable to microscopic objects only, because it tells you about the wave nature of particles, okay, and the wave nature of particles are only applicable to microscopic objects. Football and aeroplane, they are very big objects, okay. Yes. The following quantum number is not derived from the solutions of Schrodinger's wave equation. See, Schrodinger wave equation assumes that electron also behaves as a wave apart from a particle, okay. So when we solve Schrodinger's wave equation for hydrogen atom, which only contains one electron, then we get the mathematical restrictions or the values for the n, principal quantum number, the values of L, azimuthal quantum number, and the values of m, that is magnetic quantum number, okay. Spin quantum number we don't get. Spin was introduced ad hoc later, right, to explain some phenomena, okay. The correct set of quantum numbers for the valence electron of chromium atom. Now it is very simple. You write the electronic configuration, okay. Right? You guys know how to write electronic configuration. Where is the valence electron? There, right? The valence electron of chromium is in 4s1. So now you can write the value, n is 4, right? The highest value. For s orbital, L is 0. M is also 0. So what is the correct answer? This, right? Spin will take to be plus half. Clear? Which one represents an impossible arrangement? Okay. For a given value of n, L will always be less than n. It can never be equal to or greater than n. Okay. And the values of ml are minus L to plus L, right? Minus L to plus L. So you can now check out which is the impossible arrangement. Yes. This is n, this is L, so this value of m is not possible. M is from minus 2 to plus 2, it cannot be greater than L, okay. So this is the correct answer. The electron density of 3D xy orbital in the yz plane. You guys remember the shape of 3D xy orbital? If this is x-axis and this is y-axis, then this is our 3D xy orbital, right. So obviously in any other plane the electron density will be 0. Clear? In any other plane the electron density will be 0. The pair of orbitals having same number of nodal planes. Okay, nodal planes will be given by the value of L. So s orbital does not have any nodal plane, p orbitals have one nodal plane each, d orbitals have two nodal planes each. Okay, so this will be the correct answer because both of them are p orbitals, right? So they will have one nodal plane each. The quantum number which is equal for all the d electrons in an atom. Now obviously for d electrons means d subshell. Now for d subshell the value of n can be different, right? 3, 4 like that. The value of L has to be 2. Why? Because 0, 1, 2, 3 and they stand for S, P, D, F. Okay. So the value of L for d orbital, d electron will always be 2. So this will be our correct answer. Is that clear? If the ionic radii of cation A plus and anion B minus are nearly the same, 1.34, then atomic radii of A and B respectively are. Okay. See, obviously cation is smaller than its parent atom and anion is larger than its parent atom. So you can do this question. Okay. Is that clear? Is that clear? Cation will be smaller. Okay. So its atom will be larger and anion is larger, so its atom will be smaller. So this is the correct answer. Which one of the following arrangements is in incorrect order? Okay. So this is the correct order of electron gain enthalpy. Yes. Halogens have higher electron gain enthalpy, okay? And then out of oxygen sulfur, oxygen has electron repulsion, so it has less electron gain enthalpy than sulfur. In this order of ionization enthalpy, you guys should know that there is an exception in this, okay? Out of group 15 and group 16, group 15 elements have higher ionization enthalpy for the first 3 elements. So nitrogen and oxygen, it has higher ionization enthalpy, okay? So you guys should remember that. So this is the incorrect order, okay? Rest of them are correct. Increasing order of metallic character. Obviously silicon and phosphorus are non-metals and all of these 3 are metals. Is that clear? Now sodium belongs to group 1 and beryllium and magnesium belong to group 2. So group 1 elements will have greater metallic character, so sodium will come here first, okay? Sodium will come first. So these are ruled out. These are ruled out, okay? Now out of beryllium and magnesium, which will have higher metallic character? Obviously magnesium, okay? Because down the group metallic character increases. So Mg is more metallic than beryllium. Is that clear? So this will be the correct answer. Match the given oxide. This is very simple. Metal oxides are basic. Aluminum is a specific case. It is amphoteric oxide, right? Cl2O7, it's a non-metal oxide, so it will be acidic. And N2O we know guys, it's a neutral. It is a neutral oxide, right? You see N2O, CO and NO, okay? These are neutral oxides. Is that clear? So you know the correct answer is this. Is that clear? The electron affinity of X minus is equal in magnitude with the ionization potential of. So let us write the equation. Electron affinity of X minus. Right, X minus plus electron is X2 minus, this is the electron affinity, right, is equal in magnitude with the ionization potential. Now if I write its ionization potential, right, is that clear? X minus plus electron gives X2 minus, and if you take out an electron, X minus plus electron, this will be, now you should remember when we reverse an equation, its sign reverses, the sign of enthalpy change reverses, but the magnitude remains same. So the electron affinity of X minus has the same magnitude as the ionization potential of X2 minus. Is that clear? Is that clear? Okay, so this will be the correct answer. Is that clear to you guys? Fine. Okay, so next question, most favorable conditions for electrovalency. So what are the most favorable conditions for the formation of ionic bond? Obviously low charge on ions, large cation and small anion, okay? Because if cation will be large, anion will be small, ionic character will be more, right? Covalent character will be less. Ionic reactions take place in which state? See, ionic reactions normally liquid phase, solid phase, gas phase. No, ionic reactions normally take place in solutions. Okay, they normally take place in solution phase. So this is the correct answer, right? Maximum covalency of nitrogen in N2O5. See, normally the maximum covalency of nitrogen is 4 because nitrogen does not have d orbitals. Nitrogen does not have d orbitals, so it cannot form more than 4 covalent bonds. Which of the following is least ionic? So tell me which of the following is least ionic? Obviously calcium iodide, because iodide ion is largest, it will have maximum polarization, so it will have maximum covalent character or least ionic character. The strongest ionic bond is present in, see, for ionic bond to be strong, cation should be small, anion should be small, right? Because attractive forces are, they are proportional to charges, inversely proportional to sizes. Okay? So this is the correct answer. The element that exhibits both electrovalency and covalency, that is the element which forms covalent bond as well as ionic bond as well as covalent bond. So we know that it is chlorine, it forms covalent bond, that is HCl, okay, and then it forms ionic bond, that is NaCl, right? Two elements X and Y have the following configuration. So what is the compound formed by X and Y? See, it has 2 electrons in s orbital, so it will lose 2 electrons, it's a metal, so it will be X2 plus, and Y has 5 electrons in p orbital, okay, so it will gain 1 electron. So what will be the formula? XY2, right? The valency of X is 2 and that of Y is 1, so compound will be XY2. Is that clear? The electronic structure of 4 elements are given the tendency to form electrovalent bond. तो आयनिक बॉन्ड की टेंडेंसी सबसे ज़्यादा किस में होगी, ये बताइए जरा. ठीक है, ये किस में होगी? ऑब्वियसली इसमें होगी, बिकॉज इट जस्ट नीड 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन. दिस एलिमेंट जस्ट नीड्स 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन, so it will obviously gain 1 electron. Okay, right? The ionic radii of N3 minus, O2 minus and F minus. See, as the charge on ion increases, as the charge on an anion increases, its size increases. So fluoride will be smallest, then oxide ion, and nitride ion will be largest. Is that clear? If the atomic radius of non-metal bromine is this much, what is the covalent radius? See, for bromine, atomic and covalent radius are same because bromine is a non-metal. So the answer is 1.14 angstrom, right? Successive ionization energies are given to you. Now if you notice 8.3, 25.1, 37.9 and एकदम से बहुत ज़्यादा दम, ठीक है? A very high, a very large increase. So obviously this cannot be the valence electron. This cannot be the valence electron because valence electrons can be easily removed. They have low ionization enthalpy. So only there are 3 valence electrons. Okay. So the formula of its bromide will be Mb3, right? It will form 3 plus cation, right? Trivalent cation. Is that clear? Right? The electron affinity of the following elements. Which element has the highest electron affinity? Chlorine. Okay, so chlorine has the highest electron affinity. Now you remember nitrogen has positive electron gain enthalpy, and out of oxygen and chlorine, oxygen is more electronegative, so it will have higher electron gain enthalpy. The wavelength of a certain radiation is given. Okay, now this is Planck's quantum theory. Wavelength is 6625 into angstrom is how much? 10 raised to minus 10 meter. Is that clear? Number of quanta present in 1 joule. So E is equal to NhC by lambda. So you guys can calculate energy is 1 joule and you have to calculate H is Planck's constant, C is the speed of light and wavelength is this much. So you can calculate, the correct answer will be this 3.3 into 10 power 18. Okay. When 9.2 electron volt of energy is supplied to hydrogen atom, the electron jumps to, so we shall assume, if nothing is specified, we shall assume the electron is present in the ground state. So energy of nth orbit will be what? Right? So for ground state, the energy will be 13.6 electron volt. Now the least energy will be required when it jumps to immediately next orbit, that is E2. So this will be minus 13.6 divided by 2 square. So this will come out to be how much? And the difference between them is 10.2. So at least 10.2 electron volt energy is required. So electron will not go anywhere. Electron will not go anywhere. The wavelength of an electron in the first orbit of hydrogen atom is lambda. Okay, so here we use de Broglie relation, 2 pi r n is equal to n lambda. That is the circumference of an orbit is an integral multiple of wavelength. Now, what is Rn? A naught n square by z, right? Z we can ignore because Z is 1, hydrogen atom, Z is 1. Then n lambda, is that clear? So, let us write it, okay, n. To make it more clear, n can be cancelled out. So, lambda n will be equal to 2 pi a naught multiplied by n. Is that clear? Now, for first orbit, 2 pi, what is the radius? A naught 1 square is equal to 1 lambda. ठीक है? So, first orbit के लिए जो wavelength है, that is 2 pi a naught. Is that clear? First orbit के लिए जो wavelength है, that is 2 pi a naught. So, lambda 5 will be 2 pi a naught is lambda 1 multiplied by n की value 5 के लिए कितना हो जाएगा 5, right? So, lambda 5 is 5 lambda 1. Is that clear? Is that clear? Now, again, circumference of fifth orbit will be n lambda. Circumference of fifth orbit will be n lambda. Now, n की value कितनी होगी 5 and lambda 5 is how much? 5 lambda 1. So, it will be how much? 25 lambda 1. Is that clear? Right? 25 lambda 1. So, this will be our answer. Clear guys? आगे बढ़े. 4 particles A, B, C and D, they have masses 1, 2, 3, 4 gram. The ratio of the wavelengths. See, obviously, de Broglie relation is lambda is equal to h by mv, right? Momentum, that is. So, if momentum is same for 2 or more particles, obviously, their wavelengths will also be same. So, answer is 1 is to 1 is to 1 is to 1. Is that clear? Because the momentum is same. Uncertainties in the velocities of 2 particles are given. The mass of A is 5 times the mass of B, okay? That is, if I write delta VA is 0.05, delta VB is 0.02, mass of A is 5 times the mass of B. So, this is 5 by 1. Is that clear? Is that clear? So, what is the ratio of uncertainties? Now, you see, according to Heisenberg uncertainty principle, delta x into delta p, I can write delta p as m delta v, right? And it is h upon 4 pi. For numerical purpose, we take it to be an equation, right? Otherwise, it's greater than or equal to. So, I can write delta x as h upon 4 pi m delta v. Is that clear? Okay. So, he's asking us the ratio of delta x and delta ab. xb, so this will delta x a by delta x b will be equal to how much? Constants will cancel out. H upon 4 pi, it will be inversely proportional to the product of m delta v. So, this will be ma delta va and mb delta vb. Is that clear guys? So, mb by ma by mb is 5 by 1. So, this will be 1 by 5 multiplied by, what will be the value? Delta VA is 0.05 and delta VB is 0.02. So, you can see it will come out to be 2 by 25. Okay. So, the correct answer is 2 by 25. Is that clear? Right? A 3-dimensional surface drawn enveloping the space of existence of probability of the electron. He is talking about atomic orbital, right? Remember surface boundary diagrams, a 3-dimensional region where the probability of finding electron is non-zero. So, that is orbital. Radial probability curve represents which orbital? See, for 3s you will have 3 peaks, right? It will be like this. It will be touching. And for 3p, this is the graph because 1p does not exist. So, 2p and 3p. For 3d, graph looks somewhat like this, right? Because 1d and 2d don't exist, and 4s will have 4 peaks, just like it, but just 4 peaks, okay? So, what is the correct answer? 3p. Is that clear? Which of the following neither reacts with acid nor with base? Okay, the ones which are neutral, carbon monoxide N2O nitrous oxide and NO nitric oxide. So first, second and fifth only. Is that clear? Effective nuclear charge by a 3d electron of iron atom. So this is Slater's rules. So Z effective is Z minus sigma, right? Effective nuclear charge is atomic number, which is 26 for iron, and sigma will have to calculate the screening constant. For 3d electron, how do we calculate it? Write the electronic configuration. Right? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 3d6 and 4s2. So outer electron will not shield, an electron cannot shield itself. So these are 5 electrons in the d orbital. So sigma will be 5 multiplied by 0.35, and all inner electrons will shield completely. So these are how many electrons? 18 electrons. So 18 multiplied by 1.00. So you calculate sigma from here and subtract it from Z. You will get the value of effective nuclear charge. Okay, that is 6.25. Is that clear, guys? Which of the following statements are correct? Which of the following is more correct? NaCl is more ionic than KCl? No. Down the group ionic character increases. So KCl is more ionic than NaCl. Okay. ZnCl2 is less ionic than calcium chloride? Yes, because ZnCl2 is a pseudo noble gas configuration wala cation. It has 3D 10, right? So it is correct. It is less ionic than calcium chloride. And calcium fluoride is an ionic compound, whereas calcium iodide is an covalent compound. Yes, iodide cation is very large, calcium is a very small cation. So you can apply Fezan's rules. The covalent character is very, very large. Okay. So the correct answer is both second and third are correct. Okay. Which of the following molecule does not obey the octet rule and also has one lone pair on the central atom? Okay. So I think this is the molecule we are talking about, SCl4, because the structure of SCl4 is right. It has 5 electron pairs, so 10 electrons, no octet rule, and it also has a lone pair. Okay. Octet rule is not followed in all of these because it has 6 electron pairs, so 12 electrons, it has 10 electrons, it has incomplete octet, it has 4 electrons, so none of them obeys the octet rule. Is that clear? Different species of iodine can be placed in the increasing order. We know it's very simple, cations are smaller than their parent atoms and anions are larger than their parent atoms. So the correct answer is this. Iodide ion is larger, iodonium ion is smaller. Okay. The second period elements with exceptionally high, these are the exceptions. Okay. Then you should remember them. Out of Be and Mg, which has higher ionization enthalpy? Obviously Mg, but if we talk of second period, I think he's asking for second period. Okay, so in second period, beryllium and boron, which should have higher ionization enthalpy, boron, but it has, okay, because of the higher penetration effect of 2s electron. And in case of nitrogen, I told you nitrogen has higher ionization enthalpy than oxygen, right, because it has extra stable half filled 2p subshell. Okay, is that clear? So this is the correct answer. All right. Then the last question, the incorrect statement regarding the formation of ionic bond. It involves electrostatic attraction. Yes, cation and anion. It is a redox process. Yes, there is a transfer of electron, right, from the element which forms cation to the element which forms anion. It is an exothermic process. Yes, because it is attraction. It involves absorption of energy. No, right. When an ionic bond is formed, attractions increase and energy is released. So that is the correct answer. Is that all right? Thank you.